Nikon's got some collaborations going, some Speedlight news, a new fun attachment from Nanlite, a new lens for you Lumix shooters out there, and a bunch more. Stick with me. What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind, and I'm just gonna go right for it like always. Starting off with Nikon, who is collaborating with other brands. They just announced a partnership with Profoto and Nissin. So what does this mean? Well, Nikon has been known for a long time with their speed lights, right? The SB800, 900, 910, SB5000, but it's been a few years since they've introduced one to the marketplace, and I think we're all in a different place than we were back then. Profoto's offered the A1, A1X, A10, Nissin has a line, and there's plenty of other speedlight options out there. Until now, we've seen the third-party brands kind of reverse engineer or basically just assume the protocols for the cameras, and you've seen firmware updates, especially in the Profoto A1 series, where they keep on working more and more to update the firmware to like work better with the white balance and all other things like high-speed sync or frame rates and stuff like that. Well, now Nikon just seems to be going, look, maybe we won't be going so forward with speedlights on our own end, and we'll just have third party that you guys can have all these options with to buy into or invest into whatever system you like, and we'll just work closer with those brands to make it work the way it should, right? So it's no longer guessing protocols or reverse engineering protocols, but more like, hey, here's our coding, let's marry them together and make it work legit. This could be a response to the Z9 coming out, because 20 frames per second RAW, 30 frames per second JPEG. We saw Sony saying that their newer speedlights work in conjunction better with the higher frame rates of the Alpha 1. So maybe this is kind of a response to that with the high frame rates of the Z9. But this kind of sent a bunch of rumors flying, right? That there would be in-body triggering, because Profoto actually did collaborate with Phase One, which is a super high-end camera system. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars to have in-body triggering with their aero mode system, right? And we were like, oh, maybe this means we're gonna get in-body triggering and no more taking up the shoe with the trigger. Well, I don't think that's the case. Unless Nikon's holding something to the vest with what's in the Z9 as far as there being a radio trigger in there, I can't see in-body triggering happening for a little while. I mean, they're just releasing a flagship camera that hasn't even shipped yet. So why would they have a camera that's going to be out there in the market for like 2-3 years before there's an update without putting in that type of technology, unless Nikon's not telling us something? I don't know. I have no insider information on that, but I can't see this becoming that type of partnership, at least not yet. What I could see happening, which is a huge wish list for me, and I hope Nikon and Profoto are listening, is Profoto has a phone app that goes Bluetooth connection to all the A10, B10, B10 Plus, B10 X, B10 Plus X lights that allow you to have the full functionality of the light, all their menu systems right there in the palm of your hand. So if you're in a location, have multiple lights going on, you have all the menus you need, including groups and channels and everything else inside this app, so you don't have to go to the light. If this is a partnership that grows, I could totally see the Bluetooth in the camera talking to the lights to give me the flash menus inside my camera. So that would be amazing. No pulling out a phone, no tablets, no other gear. Just inside the camera menus are my strobe menus, which would be unbelievable. And Nikon has done stuff like this before. If you guys remember the CLS system, the creative lighting system, I think it's called, when it used optical triggering using like Morse code to tell the lights what to do, inside your camera body was the menus for that system. So they already had this like mindset for having strobe control in camera menus. I'm hoping we go that direction. I don't know, but I would like to say that there are more collaborations seemingly in the works from word of mouth. None of this is official, but it looks like as far as the Z9 goes, they've been in touch with a lot of brands from, let me read my list here, Profoto Nissin, Rode, DD Smallrig, Sennheiser, Tascam, DJI, Blackmagic, and Adamas, which we've already seen most of these brands already collaborate with Nikon. Adamas was right there with the original Z6, Blackmagic Raw and the Gen 2, right? So now it looks like Nikon's trying to give you guys all the options. So instead of them spending their resources on developing like microphones without having a name in the audio space so much, even though they did put out a microphone, we're not going to talk about that though. It seems like they're going to go, hey, we'll just really work closely with Sennheiser, Deity, and Rode so you guys can have those options that will work really well and talk to each other as devices rather than hoping there's adaptations or something that can make it work correctly. I mean, SmallRig has already announced a cage for the Z9, but that's nothing new. I mean, SmallRig makes every single thing ever for everything out there. It's awesome. They really listen to the user base and really try to give as much support out there as they can. I think there's like 3 versions of a cage for the Z6 alone, but this is really cool. This means that Nikon is putting their resources where they need them most, which is in the cameras, in the lenses, and they don't have to worry about spreading themselves thin as far as financial or people or technology, R&D, shipping, SKUs, all sorts of things. This really frees up a lot. I'm sure all the other camera brands are also talking to other brands and stuff like that to make things work together, because we're kind of in this era right now that is all these like third-party brands that popped up from like smaller beginnings and are actually becoming like fan favorites, and people just want to make them work with the gear they're buying into and investing into. So really cool on Nikon. I hope that we hear more collaborations across more brands. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you excited about this? What do you hope comes out of this collaboration? Right now, I just think Profoto Nissin are going to make optimal working speed lights for the Z system as far as frame rates go, maybe even high speed sync. Maybe we'll even see flash syncs change. I don't know, because we've definitely seen flash syncs say they're like a number, but then when you break it down, you can actually see that they would go from 200 to 320th and actually would work if you could like hack it a little bit. So maybe there's something there. I don't know. All speculation, but I'm just super excited if you can't tell. But speaking of speed lights, Flashpoint has just put out a version 2 of the long-running Flashpoint Zoom AA version. So this is version number 2. You're looking at the same R2 speed light that you've had out there with AA power. You do have external power port right here on the bottom. Let me show you right here. This will let you put in a battery pack to get you faster recycling and things like that, longer battery life, obviously. But you also have a quick release shoe over here. So instead of it being a screw down, you now just have like an already calibrated tension. So in the past, if you had a screw down speed light or trigger, for anyone that's using those, and if you had any issues, back off the tension. Just a quick pro tip: sometimes the pins are crushed too hard from the pressure and they're not working optimally. Take off the pressure a little bit, but here you have the quick release shoe. The other things you get is a different bounce head, so you get different degrees of ability to tilt and swivel the head. And you have the TCM, which lets you take TTL shot, convert your setting to manual, locks in the power setting. So you're basically taking like a metered shot, switching to manual so you can adjust it by like whatever amount you want and keep it there instead of fluctuating, constantly shooting TTL, which is great. High speed sync for up to 800,000th of a second, which is cool. And it's at an easy price point of $129. You got it for Canon, Fujifilm, Nikon, Panasonic, Olympus, and of course Sony. So really cool if you've been looking for an affordable option. They did update one of the most affordable speed lights out there in the Flashpoint system, so go take a look at that. While we're on the topic of lighting, Nanlite, they have put out an attachment. It is the PJBM Bowens mount projection attachment. Whew. We've been seeing a lot of these. This is basically a Bowens mount projection head, basically. So you get all these gobos right here. You can project your patterns and textured lights all you want, an iris. You also have lens options from a 19 degree and a 36 degree, and here's your iris right here. So it's like a system you can build out and grow all these attachments to. It does have a yoke, so you're not putting any stress on the light by having all this weight off the front end of the light. The Bowens mount is back here towards the left over here, you can see. So your light actually isn't mounted to the stand. It's a yoke that's mounted to the stand. Very cool. Take that into account. That is probably a larger attachment than you might be used to, but these are actually pretty standard attachments. I feel like they were a big thing when I was coming up, and then they kind of just faded away because people didn't carry them around as much, or it was all softbox and umbrellas galore. But now I think people are looking for other options out there to create things on the fly, have a lot more versatility. And instead of cutting 1,000 cookies that you have to project the light through, now you can do it from just the spot right there, or you can control it with a tight spot with the iris, or maybe even just a gobo that's just a tiny dot. So you have a lot of light control, and more light control is always great and gives you more creative freedom, a lot of options. And Nanlite has been killing it lately. Their lights are Bowens mount mostly, so you can just take whatever Nanlite you got, and now you got a projection head. I haven't tried this thing out. I would like to give it a shot, so keep a watch on Adorama's Twitch channel. If I get my hands on this, I'll go live with it, just like I did with the aperture version. If you guys remember that, I put an Profoto A10 into the aperture version and made a TTL, basically a portable TTL projection head. It was pretty awesome. Of course, there's more options out there now, so just take a look at this if you're looking for a attachment for your Nanlite or anything Bowens mount that gives you that kind of option texture-wise. Lumix S-Series, new lens for you, 35mm f1.8, little guy that fills in the gap between the 24 and the 50mm in that lineup. So it's a weather-sealed, nice lens. There is minimal focus breathing on this thing, which is great, but would you expect anything less from Lumix when they focus so much on the video aspect of their cameras so hard? I mean, you totally want that. And to add on to the minimal focusing breathing, you have programmable focus throw. So if you're trying to get a specific shot, you can actually have it already pre-programmed inside your camera to actually work with this lens to have that focus pull, which is awesome. So it is L mount, which is the full frame mirrorless mount for Lumix, but it also is for the Sigma cameras and Leica. So, you know, the L mount alliance. So check that out if you're in that system. You got a nice new little lens there that's dust, splash, and freeze resistant. Pretty rad. Okay, so I also wanted to clue you guys into what's going on with the holidays. So do not sleep this year. I know we're like mid-November right now, and maybe your brain's starting to work. Jump on it now, because we all know there's stock issues. We all know there's back order issues, things going on at the ports, importing, all sorts of issues. I mean, shortages of materials. There's all sorts of issues. So if you're looking to jump into your holiday sales, now's the time. In fact, Adorama put together a whole gift guide here. So if you're looking to buy for somebody else, and I'm not going to make this a commercial, but this actually is something that comes up all the time. We get DMs all the time of like, what should I get someone that's a new photographer? Well, they got you covered. Just go to the website, boom, I'll put the link down below. Holiday gift guide. So let's say you do have someone that's a brand new photographer. Well, go to photographers right here. You click on it, new photographers, and it gives you the best deals that they got for entry-level stuff, like the Nikon Z5, $100 rebate on that thing. One of the best entry-level mirrorless full-frame cameras out there. The Tamron 7300 f4.5 to 6.3, $50 rebate, and more, many more. I mean, you have so many options as you go through this. Just take a look if you're trying to buy for somebody else and you're not sure what's going on. I know that this is probably like a photo nerd channel, so maybe you're like a photo nerd, but you're like, actually, I got a kid who's a gamer and I don't know much about it. Click on gamers, boom, and they got you covered with full-on PC rigs, what monitors, what VR components you might need, what games are hot right now, what is on sale for games, everything that you need to know for the laptops that you want to game on, stuff like that. So check all this stuff out. Don't sleep on it. And I'm telling you guys, order early if you're looking to get stuff for holidays. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You know what the world is at right now, and Adorama is no different. So please take a look at what you need and just place those orders now. Also, special event this week. Yeah, it's virtual, so I don't care where you are in the world. You can totally plug into this. If you didn't know, Adorama is a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. Let me see if I can get this. Boom, right there. Go hang out on there. There's something different every day of the week on that channel live, and I got a special takeover for you. CaptureOne with Maria, who is super knowledgeable and awesome. All you people have been asking about CaptureOne, what the differences are, or if you're in it and don't know how to do something or want to see better workflows. Well, this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 16th, 17th, and 18th, 5 p.m. Eastern time, boom, I got you covered. Maria's gonna take over the Twitch channel, hang out with you live. So any questions you have, ask them in the chat. You will get a direct answer. She's gonna have some special guests like Emily Teague, who's featured in this image right here. So don't miss out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. CaptureOne. is officially taking over. That's not someone that might be into CaptureOne. That's not some pro that uses it. This is legit CaptureOne. So you can ask all the questions, request features you might be wondering about, seeing, you know what the one question I get all the time is, my Lightroom can do this. Is there an equivalency in CaptureOne? This is where you ask those questions. Do not sleep on this one. Twitch.tv/AdoramaXP, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. All right, going along with that, if you haven't joined yet, I have another resource for you, Adorama's Discord. I know I talked about it a few episodes ago, but I need to clue you in again. Let's pull this up really quick. Bingo. So it has everything. It's not just gaming. I got reps in here. Like, this is the Manfrotto Avenger room. I got people looking for certain grip, and boom, you have an answer from Manfrotto themselves saying, oh, well, this is the pin you need. How specific can it get? I mean, it's awesome. And you have people sharing work in here. There's people that are just kind of cluing each other into cool things that are out there, videos that are happening out there, the Flashpoint chat, Westcott lighting. I got JC from Westcott answering all your questions on whatever you have if you're in the Westcott system or thinking about switching over to it. Sony chat, Fuji chat, Lumix chat. I mean, every brand is represented here, and I have actual brand reps in here to help you guys along. So you guys can actually now go to a super simple link of adorama.com/Discord. That's it. Just go there. That's an invite. Go to the rules section, hit OK that you accept the rules, and all the rooms unlock for you, and you can share work, you can ask questions, you can meet some cool people. There's a non-toxic environment. There's no like fan people in there yelling at each other. It's all supportive, and it's super awesome. And anybody that's in that Discord can comment down below what you've gotten out of it, because I would love to hear it in general, because I think it's been a really great community. It's ever growing, and I want to grow it a little bit more. Speaking of community, shout out of the week going over to Tyler Hart, who is always in the Discord helping everybody out, answering whatever questions he can. And he's a great sports photographer, a Sony shooter, and just check out his work. He's an actual legit working professional out there, and he can give you some nice insights into what it's like shooting as a sports photographer, using the Sony system and all this other stuff. Go check him out. He's been super supportive of everybody that's from Adorama, the Adorama community, I mean, in the Discord and in the chat rooms and and in the comments and everything like that. So give my guy a follow. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. Question of the week. I'm going to dial this all the way back to the beginning of this episode with the Nikon Profoto Nissin collaboration. And I want to know, what kind of collaborations would you guys like to see out there? Which brands and what genres would you like to see collide? Do you want to see an audio brand mix in with a full frame mirrorless brand? Do you want to see two specific brands really talk to each other? I'm sure we all adapt things. We buy adapters for this. We want things to happen with that. I'm curious what you would like to see happen. Even software companies mixing with hardware companies. What is it that you would like to see happen in this industry as we see things get more and more segmented, more and more third-party brands becoming I guess, reliable, and people trusting them and even becoming fans of those brands. And instead of wondering if it'll work with something, what would you like it to just genuinely work with because the brands are talking? So tell me down below what collaborations you would like to see brand and gear genre-wise. I am super curious about that. I think some of the coolest things we've seen is DJI acquired Hasselblad, and we're seeing Hasselblad cameras on drones. Like, what? So it's just kind of bananas. Let me know down below what you think about that. For now, I'm really excited to see you guys in the Discord, on the Twitch channel. I'll see you guys in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, it really helps this video out a lot. Hit subscribe, plus the bell, share this video around, of course. Check out the holiday gift guides. I'll see you guys next time. Later.